Yo, what's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. What's good? So I got an email from a subscriber, and the subscriber sent a donation. So thanks for your donation. And remember, guys, if you want to guarantee that your question will be answered, make sure you click the link below and send a donation. So this one says, Mr. Locario, I've been doing night game at least twice a week for the past 3 months, and direct day game twice a week for the past 2 months. I've overcome my approach anxiety, and now I've mostly eliminated it. I can approach hot girls without needing a wing, even at night. I've noticed many girls ask me some personal questions like what's my name, what's my job, etc. at the beginning. Some will continue to be at least somewhat interested, as they will stay in the conversation for a few minutes, flirt with me, be comfortable with my keynote, such as touching their shoulder, touching their earrings, letting me hold their hand for over a few seconds when I pretend to go for the handshake, etc. I've probably done over 1,000 approaches total these past few months, though roughly half of those don't count, I guess, because they said they had a boyfriend or were married, either upfront or after we chatted for a few minutes. They were somewhere younger than 18, or they got dragged away by their friends. Some couldn't speak English, or some just quickly blew me off, etc. I've only gotten a few Insta dates, and out of the roughly 100 numbers / Instagrams I've gotten, only around 10 of them even replied to my messages, and only 2 of them even agreed to make plans with me. One of those agreed to a plan just before going on vacation, then flaked after coming back from vacation. The other said she was down, but mentioned she had a boyfriend. I only send around 2 messages at most before making plans with women. What could I be doing wrong? Why is it that even the girls who let me keynote them ask me numerous questions and flirt with me don't even respond to my texts? For night game, I realize I might not be getting the desired results because I haven't tried isolating the girl enough. Is it okay to isolate one girl if I'm solo approaching a 2-set? How do I make sure that the other girl won't cock block? And how do I pull it if the girl I'm interested in doesn't want to leave the night venue because she said she has some friends that are coming soon? All right, so obviously, you've been studying up on some pickup artistry because you got the keynote and the 2 sets and all that other stuff. But anyway, so the thing is, in this video, I'm gonna have to break down some technical stuff. I'm gonna be giving you guys some expert level game. Shout out to my dude Affy Kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Give you guys some expert level game for this video. But so basically you're saying, you're going out there, you're doing the approaches, you're making it happen, which I commend, which is really good. You understand? I'm glad that you're out there, doing your thing and making it happen, right? Because, you said that you've overcome your approach anxiety now, and you basically feel like you've eliminated it. And that is because you've been out there talking to girls, interacting with women, making it happen. So, I gotta, really commend you on that. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm glad that you are out there doing this. And for all the other guys out there that's not doing it, you got to get it going. You feel what I'm saying? But now, what I want to talk about, what's going to really, help improve your game is this, right? Is that what you want to do in a lot of these situations when you're interacting with these girls is, if you want to get like results faster, quicker, and make shit pop off, is that you want to save getting her number for last. Okay? You want to save getting her number for last. So what I mean is that you want that to be the last thing you do in the interaction. So for example, you're saying you're going out at night, talking, hollering at these chicks. You're saying that you're able to like touch her and flirt with her, and you're basically building the sexual tension and all this other stuff, right? So while you're doing that, your aim should be to try to first have sex with her that night. You understand what I'm saying? And then if that doesn't happen, let's say you're trying to make that happen, you're trying to pull a girl for whatever reason, she got her friends coming through or somebody else is around and it's becoming like a cop block situation or whatever, then you get the number. So you do that last. You understand? So let's say you interacting with the girl, You're talking, you're flirting, you got your arm around her, she's all up on you, whatever. So you're building that sexual tension. Let's say you start kissing, you start doing all this other stuff. So what you want to do is be like, yo, let's get out of here. You understand? Don't do all of that and then say, hey, let me get your number and bounce and then try to call her later. No, you have her there now. You understand? Do that first. Try to make sure you can pull her first. And then if that doesn't work, if she's like, oh, I gotta wait for my friends, or this and that happened, be like, all right, cool. Well, listen, let me get your information. Here's my number. I'll holler at you tomorrow, or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? So save that for last. Same thing when you are out here doing out here in the daytime, because you said you do the day game stuff. If you're out here in the daytime talking to women, because you were saying also that you got a few Insta dates, and I wonder like what happened on those Insta dates. And for those who don't know what Insta dates are when you basically first meet a girl like out on the street or somewhere in public or wherever, and then you actually go on a date with her right then and there. You feel what I'm saying? So you may talk to a girl in the street, you're having a conversation, you'd be like, yo, what you doing right now? She'd be like, oh, nothing, I'm just chilling. You'd be like, all right, cool, well, how about you come over here and get some coffee with me real quick? I'm about to go to Starbucks real quick. And then so that's your Insta date, right? So when you're on the Insta date, right, and this is what you could do for the day game. When you're on the Insta date, let's say you go to Starbucks, right? You go to Starbucks, you are interacting with her, you're flirting with her, you're doing all this other shit. Even then, you still want to try to get her that day. But this is if you have nothing else to do that day. Like, don't forfeit your plans and whatever. If you have nothing else that you're doing that day, do this, right? If you have other shit, just get her number and then keep moving. But if she ain't got nothing to do and you ain't got nothing to do and you got a free afternoon or whatever it is, right? You try to get her, to smash that day. You know what I'm saying? So while you're, doing the coffee thing, you're flirting, you're creating the sexual tension, and you try to make it happen that day. Now, again, if it, for whatever reason, it can't happen that day, then you save getting the number for last. So then if you like trying to pull her back, she's like, oh, I got to do this or blah, 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 whatever the, reason is. Like, all right, cool. Well, listen, let me, let's exchange numbers and then I'll holler at you later. You see what I'm saying? So the reason why you want to, make sure you save the number for last is because what you want to do is you want to strike while the pussy's hot. You understand? See, a lot of this is all about the momentum. Now, this doesn't mean that if you get a girl's number and you call her later that she's not going to respond to you, whatever, because this is sort of what you're, sort of what's happening now. But what happens is a lot of times is that when you build that sexual tension with women, from the beginning, like let's say you're out at night talking to these girls, flirting with them, getting all this other stuff, they're in that mood and they're in that state of mind at that moment. So at that moment, they're more likely to, hook up with you that night and make something happen at that point because you are building up the sexual tension and it's going on at that moment. Now, what happens is that they may still sort of be interested in you or whatever it is, but if you stop doing what you're doing and you just say, hey, give me your number, and then you holler at them later, right? That intensity is not there anymore, right? Other things occur. You understand? Her frame of mind is somewhere else. So it's not to say that she won't actually want to holler at you on a later time. But what happens is because it's so intense at that moment, right? Later on down the line, this could be like, 2-3 days later, a week later, whatever it is, right? It sort of dies down. Other things happen. So, a lot of times it'll fall off. Now, this doesn't mean with every girl, but, a lot of times that happens. Like I've been in situations, man, where, I'm meeting some chick at, just meet some chick randomly at some bar, some meetup event, whatever it is. And I remember this one time I'm, talking to this girl and she was with her friend and I had one of my friends with me. So one of my friends, my friend went to the girl's friend. So he was like talking to her and I was talking to this chick and we're shooting this shit, whatever. Next, flirting all heavy and shit. And then we start, kissing and doing all this other stuff. And then so I took her outside the event and we're like outside in the front of the spot. And, we still kissing and touching and doing all this other shit. And then so her friend comes out with the dude and she's like, oh, there's this other spot, down the block. Let's go to that spot or whatever. So we go down to that spot. Me and her's just like, kissing heavy, doing all this, doing all that. And the thing is, she wanted me to take her in the bathroom. And she wanted to like basically get it popping in the bathroom. You feel what I'm saying? And so the thing was, I was thinking about doing it, but what happened was it was one of those bathrooms where they had it wasn't the, I don't know if it's bouncers, but it had like people near the bathroom, like some bathroom attendants and some other people that was near there. So it wasn't really like you could sneak in, you know, with the girl and do shit. So I was like, yeah, that ain't gonna pop off. Right. And so I'm thinking shit, you know, maybe I could, you know, just go back to her spot, but she didn't want to leave without her girlfriend and all this other shit. You understand? And I'm gonna talk about that a little later, because you sort of mentioned something like that in your email. But anyway, so I'm thinking, all right, well, listen, let's just exchange numbers and get it popping. And she's like, yeah, she's like, yo, let's see each other again, you know, this Friday or whatever, right? And so now that's a week away, and I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm thinking, shit, man. In the back of my mind, I was like, this shit ain't gonna pop off. It ain't gonna happen, right? So, of course, you know, the day's approaching and all this other shit. And then she hit me up talking about, oh, hey, I'm sorry. I can't make it because of this and that happened and yada, yada, yada. So basically, long story short, this shit ain't pop off, right? It would have popped off that night if, you understand, I was able to get it that night. But because, you know, time passed, there's a lot of times where shit will fall off. So this is why I say you want to make sure that when you're out here, you're trying to get the sex popping first, and then if that doesn't work out, you then do the number thing as the last resort, right? Now, you're also saying that what I noticed is you said you would send, you said I only send around 2 messages at most before making plans with women. What I would suggest you do is this. So let's say, you know, you try to make something happen at first with the sex thing or whatever, and that doesn't pop off, and you get her number, or you get an Instagram, whatever it is. Right? What you want to do now is that you want to make sure that the message you send first is a message about getting together. Okay, so a lot of times guys will send messages to sort of, it's like sort of small talk at first when it comes to the messages. It's on some, hey, what's up? How's your day going? You know, what are you up to? Blah, blah, blah. And, you know, it's not necessarily anything wrong with that. But what happens is that sometimes these girls will message you back and forth with the small talk, right? Because they like the attention. But what happens is that, you know, you'll do all of that, and then when you say, hey, let's get together, you know, and do something, they'll stop responding, or they'll just ghost on you at that point, or you're just like, what the fuck is going on? So what I suggest you do is you want to make sure your first message to these girls is about getting together. So, like, let's say you get one of these girls' numbers from that club or whatever it is, and so the first message you send her when you try to make something happen is like, yo, what you up to Friday night? We should get together and get a drink. That's the first message you send her, so that anything she's responding to is about that. So you're getting yourself into the conversation about that thing. You understand? So I do this all the time, even when I hit up chicks on online dating sites. Like, my first message is about getting together, so that whenever she responds about anything, it's about that. We're not doing a whole bunch of small talk. We're not going on tangents. We're not, you understand? It's about this. And if you're not really responding to this, then we good. You understand? Like, I ain't really got to talk to you no more. I could just keep moving to the next girl. So of course you're going to still have women who are going to not respond, or who are going to play games or whatever. All you do is charge them to the game. But what you're doing is that you're directly getting to the point as quick as possible, so you don't go through this back and forth nonsense with a chick. Because sometimes you'll send a chick a text that says, hey, what's going on? How you been or whatever, right? And then you send that to her, and then she won't reply until the next day. And she'll be like, oh, I'm good. What's up? And then you'll reply and be like, oh, I'm chilling, you know, just like hanging out with, you know, what are you up to, like today or some shit. Then she responds, you know, 15 hours later. So now you're wasting like, you know, a day or 2, 3 days just to try to set up the goddamn date. Fuck that. Listen, you send the first text about getting together. Hey, when are you free? Let's go meet up here. Or, yo, there's this spot on Main Street and we should go get a drink there. Yo, what's good? Listen, I'm going to be in the city on Saturday at this time. Are you free? We should get together. And you know what I'm saying? Like, the first message should be about that. So you save a lot of time, because when she responds to that, she's going to respond to that message. Now, there are certain times where women will try to be slick and they'll respond, but they won't necessarily respond to that message. So you say to a chick, yo, what's good? Let's get together on Friday and get a drink. And then her response to you is, oh, hey, what's up? How's it going? Like, she didn't respond to anything about the goddamn drink. So you used to have to always bring it back to that. You understand? Be like, oh, I'm doing good. But anyway, so what's good with Friday? With this drink. You feel what I'm saying? Just bring it back to that. Right? Now, again, you're going to have women who are just going to fall off and, not respond and all this other, goofy shit. That's going to happen, basically here and there. And this is why it's a numbers game. And even in this email, for you guys to notice that, a lot of this shit is a numbers game. And also I want to point out this too, because this sort of correlates as to why you may have been getting not a lot of responses from certain women when it comes to you, getting a number and trying to make a date or make something happen. See, what it seems like you were doing is that you were building the sexual tension up heavy in the situations with the women at that moment. So at that moment, they're looking at you like, okay, this is probably the type of guy I could fuck. You understand? I could smash tonight. I could have a good time with him now. Because that's how you're presenting yourself through your actions, right? Now, what happened is that, let's say, you do all of this and you're presenting yourself as that guy, and then you're like, she's thinking she gonna get some dick, and you're just like, yo, let me get your number. And she's just probably looking at you like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? I thought we was gonna get it popping. You talking about numbers? Like, what the fuck you doing? And then so she's like, all right, she gives it to you. But then when you hit her up, she's probably like, whatever, because what she was expecting from the jump was to make something happen with you at that moment. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times, guys, you be doing this shit, you do this shit where you think you need to go through this whole song and dance and do all this stuff, but you could have gotten, some sex popping off that night based off of just being consistent with how you were coming at her in the first place. You understand? That's why I say you save the number for last. You see what I mean? You want to try to tell her, yo, let's go back to my place, let's go back to your place. And then once that doesn't happen, then you get the number. But you got to do that shit first of stating you want to fuck now, because you're already in the process of, going in that direction. You see what I'm saying? So you got to understand that. Now, you were asking about, what's this last thing? You were asking about, hold on, let me try to read this again so I could definitely get the thing right. You said that for night game, I realized I might not be getting the desired results because I haven't tried isolating the girl enough. Is it okay to isolate the one girl if I'm solo and approaching a 2-set? How do I know it? Make sure that the other girl won't cock block. All right. So basically what you're saying is, how do you get that girl who is, who's with her friend, right? And I actually talk about this in my program, how to approach groups of women. So make sure you guys go to badboymembership.com to make that happen, because that's like a big thing that a lot of guys don't know how to do when it comes to interacting with these chicks. And sometimes you're going to go to these spots and the chick's going to be there with her friend. She's going to be there with 2 girls. She's going to be there with a few girls and probably a guy. So you got to know how to, maneuver in these situations, right? So this is the thing. When you're talking to 2 girls, right? What you got to understand is that in that situation, you it's going to be hard for you to isolate that girl. Now you can, but there's certain ways you got to do it. But at first, this is what you got to do when you approach 2 chicks. When you approach 2 chicks, you want to talk to them both, right? You want to include both of them in the conversation. So you want it to be you talking to these 2 girls, right? Now, the only way that you can isolate the girl that you actually want to really get at is that what you may have to do is that if you're, let's say you're in a bar setting, right? And let's say you're talking to these two girls, what you need to do, and you're by yourself, you don't have a wingman. So, if you have a wingman, of course your wingman is there, and then it's easier, and it's not you and just the two girls. But let's say you're there by yourself talking to these two girls. What you would need to do, the only way you can sort of isolate her to just get her alone with you, is that you need to bring another guy that's near you into the conversation. So this is what I would used to do a lot of times, where I'd be talking to the two girls, and a lot of times I go to these spots, there'll be dudes just around, sort of, lingering around the area. You feel what I'm saying? And there'll be like a dude right next to me, a dude in front of me, a guy in the back, whatever, right? So me and the two girls are talking about something, right? And then so what I would do is, let's say there's a guy next to me, and sometimes what will happen is this, is that if there's a few hot chicks, or you're talking to some hot girls, there's guys already staring at the girls, you understand, but they're too scared to approach or say anything. So I notice these guys around me. So what I do is, as I'm talking to the two girls, we might be talking about something, and I might say something to them, and we'll be talking about a topic, and I'll say, yo, I don't think what you're saying makes sense. That sounds kind of crazy. And then I'll look to the guy and I'll say, hey, yo, come here for a second. This chick said, yada, yada, yada. What do you think about that? Right. So now I'm including him into the situation. Right. And then so now that I'm including him, he starts talking to the girl. And then I start talking more to the girl that I want to talk to. And while he's talking to the other girl, I say, hey, listen, I'm going to steal your friend for a second. We're going to go to the bar, get a drink or something. Right. So then we just walk away a little bit. He's talking to the girl while I'm talking to the girl I want to talk to. Right. So that's one way to do it. Right. Now, let's say you are in a situation where you don't have another guy to, have this girl there to talk to. You understand? So now you're stuck talking to these two chicks. Right. Now, this is the thing when you talk to two girls and you want one of them, if you don't do this right, there's going to be some cock blocking going on a lot of times, right? Not all the time, but most times. If the cock blocking doesn't happen at the moment, it will usually happen after you leave. All right. So this is what you have to do. And, I've talked about this a little bit in the program. This is why you guys need to go to badboymembership.com to get the shit, because I'm giving you on this video some of this, a little bit of the stuff that I talked about in there. But anyway, so you're talking to these two chicks, right? What you need to do is, let's say you got girl A and girl B. Girl A is the one you want to really get with. You want to get her number. You want to make something happen, right? So what you need to do is that while you're talking to both of them, right, you need to butter up girl B first before you really go after girl A. Okay, I'm going to say that again. You have to butter up. You have to like compliment and make girl B feel good before you go after girl A. Right? So something that I used to do, right? And, I know some of you guys will steal this. I don't recommend, recommend you coming up with your own shit. But I know you guys are going to take it, but so fuck it, whatever. I'll tell you what I do. Right? So basically what I would do is, like, I'll be having a conversation with both of them, and I'll say some shit like, I can tell, when a girl has a boyfriend. I just got this thing where I just usually know. And then so I would say to girl B, I'll be like, I can tell you got a boyfriend. Like, you ain't even got to tell me. I can tell you got a boyfriend. And then she'll be like, how do you know? What do you mean? And I'll be like, I could just tell, like, you're fucking gorgeous. You seem like you're a smart chick. Like, you're real cool. You know what I mean? Like, I could tell you gotta have a man, right? So now, whether she has a man or not doesn't fucking matter. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes a girl actually has a boyfriend, and she's like, yeah, I do have a boyfriend. I'm like, you see, I knew it, right? Or she may not have a boyfriend, and she'd be like, oh, well, she's like, well, I don't have a boyfriend, actually, whatever. And I'm like, really? That's crazy. Like, women as cute and as interesting as you usually have a man. That's crazy, right? And then so what happens is sometimes girl A might say, oh, so what are you saying? I'm not cute and I can't have a boyfriend and blah, 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 right? So what happens is that I say to girl A, I'm like, oh, so what you got a boyfriend or something or whatever? And then she'd be like, oh, either yes or no. So now what you're hoping for is for her to say no. So now if girl A says no, she doesn't have a boyfriend, right? Then that's just easy for you to slide in there and be like, well, listen, I'm actually glad you don't have a boyfriend, because this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you my number. I'm gonna take your number, and we're gonna hang out sometime, right? So now what happens is, girl B, since you already told her how cool and how gorgeous she is and how awesome she is, right? She likes you now. She likes you as a person. She's like, this guy's cool, right? And so when you're getting her friend's number, she's not really jealous because you already buttered her up. You feel what I'm saying? And so that's what happens. Now, if girl B has a boyfriend already, of course, it's even easier because she couldn't get with you anyway. But even if she doesn't have a boyfriend, the fact that you buttered her up, you feel what I'm saying? When you try to holler at girl A, right, then it's easier for you to get with her. Now, let me tell you another thing I would do. Let's say if girl A, damn, I'm giving y'all a lot of shit. If girl A, if this is what I'm telling you, I get the Bad Boy membership. But anyway, if girl A has a boyfriend, but girl B doesn't, right? And let's say girl B is still kind of cute, right? What I would say is, like I already told girl B, like, yo, you're gorgeous. I'm sure you got a boyfriend. And girl B's like, no, I don't have a boyfriend actually. And then I say to girl A, I'm like, I'm sure, you probably got a boyfriend, right? Or what was good, right? And then so if girl A is like, yeah, I actually do have a boyfriend. What I would do is, since I really want a girl A, but now she's unavailable, what I'll do is I'll say, you know what? I'm so glad that you don't have a boyfriend. And now I'm talking to girl B. I'm like, I'm so glad you don't got a boyfriend, because listen, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to give you my number. I'm going to take your number and we're going to get together. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm doing is I'm giving myself the option to get girl A. Hopefully girl A and girl B is kind of cute. Girl A might be cuter. She might be hotter or whatever. But if girl B is also cute, you feel what I'm saying? I'll still go at girl B. If girl B is not cute, then I just keep it moving. If they both have boyfriends, it is what it is. You understand what I'm saying? And I just keep it moving after that. But the thing is that what you want to do is you want to make sure that the girl that you are trying to get at, you got to make sure her friend is, you've already planted that seed in her head that she, like, yo, you're fucking awesome. You're fucking cool. You understand what I'm saying? And sometimes I might even, go in where I would make the girl B almost like my wing person. And so the way that you do this is, and this is how you sort of even solidify where you don't want her to cock block, is that, let's say, for example, girl B has a boyfriend and girl A doesn't. And now I'm saying, listen, to girl A, look, I'm going to give you my number. I'm going to take your number, and we're going to make this happen. And I'll be like, and I'll say to girl B, I'm like, girl B, you seem like you're a really good friend. Like, I can, like, and then I'll say to girl A, I'll be like, is she a really good friend? Like, is she really cool? Like, is she like a cool friend to you? And of course, girl A is going to be like, yeah, she's like the best. I love her. She's my girl or whatever. I'm like, listen, well, girl B, listen, I'm going to need you to be my friend tonight. And what I need you to do is, I need you to make sure that this girl right here, girl A, does her homework. Her homework is to call me on Monday at 8:00. Okay. So girl B, I need you to make sure that she does this, because since you're such a cool friend, you understand, you got to make sure that she does this so that we can make this happen. You feel what I'm saying? So basically I'm including both of them throughout the whole situation, but I'm trying to pick up that one girl. You see what I'm saying? So, you got to understand how that goes down. But listen, guys, make sure you go to badboymembership.com right now. Join the Bad Boy membership so you can, get more step-by-step stuff to step up your game. You feel me? So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm out of here. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. I'm gone. Now, before you turn off this video, I want you to do 3 quick things. 1, I want you to click the link below to send me a question. If you have a question on dating and relationships, I'll make a video about it. 2, I want you to click the link under that to get my free audio program, Undeniable Game, which teaches you 7 easy to follow tips on how to really attract beautiful women. And 3, I want you to click the link under that one to go to Bad Boy Membership, where you get 45 through 90-minute audio and video dating advice tutorials every month.
What's up? It's dating and life coach Mr. Locario. Go to badboymembership.com and master the dating game by joining my Bad Boy membership program. In this program, you'll receive 45 through 90-minute, easy to follow, step-by-step dating advice tutorials that's guaranteed to help you attract, date, and have sex with beautiful women. Join the Bad Boy membership today by going to badboymembership.com. That's badboymembership.com.